Hey there guys, it's Joey and this is my week with or experiencing Raidho the rune. These have become a little bit more bloggy, I realise, but it's all to do with how I've been experiencing the energy, so we will carry on in that manner and I will read through this week's journal entries and explain all the pictures in front of you as we go along. Okay, so Raidho, travel and movement. And okay, yesterday in meditation it was confirmed, doubly confirmed to me, that my totem animal is a fox. I gazed into the dark pool and saw a fox looking back at me, and it said about time. And since then I've been seeing them everywhere. Photographs, pictures on mugs, on clothing, on Facebook, all over the place. I also came across the fox prayer, which is the following. I call on Fox, shapeshifter and trickster, edgewalker and messenger. Help me blend with my surroundings and adapt to the changing landscapes. Show me the hidden paths between worlds. Show me the ways of invisibility and camouflage. Gift me with your keen senses that I might see more of what is around me, and use it to accomplish my goals. I call on you, Fox, to bring magic and discernment into my life. Lead me at your steady gait to those places where I may do the greatest good. Sorry. Let us walk the borders between day and night and follow the scent of divine mischief. Fox, I call on you. Day 2. Two people in separate conversations almost at the exact same time mentioned cinnamon to me. It's quite a fox-related herb in colour and meaning, and though I didn't put it in the totem animal blend, I decided to burn some and see what would happen. Also had an idea for something else to dedicate to the fox totem. Cinnamon is for sun and fire, today being Sunday. Venus, Aphrodite, spirituality, success, power, healing, lust, psychic powers, protection, love. When burned as an incense, it raises high spiritual vibrations, aids in healing, drawing money, stimulating psychic powers, and produces protective vibrations. I also acquired some ruby and zoisite, which Deanna had introduced me to, which increases vigour, life force, focusing on true objectives, stimulates the crown chakra, and benefits past life regression. I also acquired 3 fossilized shark teeth, used at the throat chakra to relieve pain associated with teeth and gums, to connect with one's past lives and ancestors, and to promote growth. And horsetail, which also strengthens resolve and boundaries, and used to make affirmation and commitments to firm and protect one's psychic space against unwanted intrusion. Helps cleanse emotional rubble from the system. And finally, some benzoin, which is masculine, sun and fire again, for purification and prosperity. I felt very connected to the Morrigan after I burnt the cinnamon, and she was sending messages to people to make sure to treat me correctly. The people actually came to me and told me they'd had that happen. I dreamt last night that I was merging with Source. There was a male voice and I felt fearful for my personal identity. This has come up through my rune path journey, of course, scrutinising myself, my actions, how I interact with the divine, and the actions of copycats that were driving me mad for a while, assaulting and stealing from my creative identity. So I had a muse about it and wrote this, and I wrote it on Facebook, and I'll share it again here. Musing about identity. Sometimes we apply labels to define ourselves, and many of us proudly reclaim the word witch, myself included. Possibly because we can now turn the tables on a history of negative association and try to create something beautiful out of it. But in general, the ideas of identity can often be boundaries and structures that tie us down, labels that offer no depth, no feeling, and do not cover who we are. For identity has to be literally, this is my soul. It evolves and changes and adapts, is a constant dancing energy that swirls into being and is more than the sum of our parts. Later that day I had a very, very vivid meditation, and I sort of meditated this morning whether I should share it or not, and apparently it's fine to share it. So I meditated and found myself by an oriental pond with a red bridge over the top of it in a sort of Japanese garden, and found a new aspect, a new guide, a kitsune. A Japanese woman in a pale pink kimono. She seemed young but eternal, had straight black hair with a fringe, fox ears, amber eyes, and red markings under her eyes in sort of a swirl, and on her forehead in sort of a loop. She spoke to me of being mischievous and fun, and embracing that side of myself some more. Then she discussed embracing my other side, my oriental kitsune energy part of me, as well as all the Celtic stuff. That's how she put it. Morrigan was present the whole way through, and wary and slightly irritable at the kitsune, but agreed it was necessary. The kitsune marked me in red after examining the blue Celtic marks that were already covering me to make sure they go together aesthetically, and marked under my eyes, my forehead, and down my body along my sides. They looked like ribbon floating above me, and then sort of landed on me and gave me marks. She also gave me fox ears and black claws, and my hair shone through red for a moment. The Morrigan huffed at the kitsune how she needed to make everything look pretty, to which the kitsune replied, "Is not the ribbon a dangerous weapon?" Morrigan agreed to this and let her continue. All of this was done only with the express permission of the Morrigan, and only after I had reaffirmed my love and dedication for my matron goddess. Then the kitsune was moving her hands over me, healing me, pulling lots of little black needles out of my stomach. Finally I saw her jump onto a wall, balancing on red Japanese sandals. The wall was between darkness and light. And I told my friend, and she pointed out that the pale pink, particularly in Japanese lore, was about new life and rebirth. The next day my friend also mentioned that I'm due a new 7-year cycle. The number 7 in me keeps coming up, and at age 28, which I am on the 4th of September, it's due for a new cycle. Later that day I received my competition win from my Crystal Soul Journey obviously being connected with Raidho, and I received Carnelian runes, Argonite cluster, and Ocean Jasper. Sorry about that, sisters. So Carnelian is to do with Virgo and protection, but I also realised that it meant that I had a set of runes which connected to the kitsune, the fox energy, because Carnelian is what I had used in my fox kit set, as well as the amethyst runes which I used to represent my relationship with Spirit and the Morrigan. Ocean Jasper, which I also received, powerfully lifts negativity, and Argonite, which I also received, is grounding and balancing. My store's been doing quite well this week, helping me feel that my journey to independence is increasing. Day 5. Last night I dreamt about my troll, her upsetting my nephew and my sister, and saying her needs were more important than theirs. So I dreamt about her yet again the following day, and someone disliked all my recent videos that same day. I don't watch anything to do with my troll anymore, so I was just trying to ignore it, although it's never nice when people decide they're going to shit all over your creativity, basically. This week there have been lots of other small bumps, tests in my social relationships with people. Little things that have caused me to feel a bit miffed, upset or annoyed. I processed and dealt with these little bumps easily and came through them. However, the troll situation still irritated me, although I had 2 useful processes by which to deal with it. Firstly, laughter. Crabs in a bucket. If you haven't seen that video on the Start the Shout Out video, go see it. Basically laughing and taking away their power by laughing at them. 2, reinforcing my warrior values. And this is what I wrote with a picture. Those who are not warriors will never understand what it means to be one. Once you lose my respect and love, it is gone. No amount of sugary fake smiles will make me forget your dishonourable behaviour, your insults or your slights. Along with the following quotes that also were quite useful. No matter how many mistakes you make or slow progress you make, you're still way ahead of anyone who isn't trying, Tony Robbins. The quote to me ties into the lack of personal responsibility taken by those who refuse to own up for their own actions. And the following quote, it is better to fight for something than live for nothing, General George S. Patton. Additionally, the following poem came to me this day. I am the whisper of a dream between dusk and dawn, I am the shining blade. I am the woodland huntress, armed with bow and spear, I am the northern wind. I am the pause before the storm, the crackle that burns, I am the fire dancer. I am my ancient soul, dancing across the sea of time. I am nothing, I am everything, I am myself, I am me. The forging of myself is my journey, and what I have come to understand from this rune this week. To understand the limitations of identity as earlier in the week, but to accept why I feel irritated by those that would to continue to attempt to steal my identity or try to diminish or take away from it. It's a difficult learning process to start accepting you are more than your labels, you are more than what you do. My annoyance comes from the fact that everything I create is metaphorically and literally my soul on paper. These are reflections of myself, my mind, my heart, my soul, and my path to independence. So understanding where the annoying feeling of irritation comes from does actually help me, and I'm trying to rationalise and work past the fact that people, in a negative sense, try to sort of take away from my path, try to make themselves look better or try to assert their own power over my path and things like that this week, and not allowing that to get to me or my soul. The final day I created more items. 2 were completely divinely led, and the Kitsune Totem Altar, there's a video up on that, I couldn't fit that in this video, and the Morrigan Wand, which is here. These 2 items are beautiful, if I just say so myself, and every single inch of them, every fibre of their being, their essence, is the balance within me. Me coming out in force. The Kitsune part of me and the Morrigan part of me, the daughter of Morrigan, coming together in my creative outlets, which continue to grow and improve despite the actions of any and all that might try and take away from it. So that is my journal for this week, and there wasn't any literal journeys for me, not really. It's all been metaphorically speaking. I mean, I had the runes arrive from my crystal sword journey, which was cool, and then there's the balance of the runes, which I quite enjoyed the imagery of. Basically it was a journey into myself, into my soul, and into my understanding, into becoming more than I was, and to keep going down the path that is set in front of me, even if it's going to be difficult, and I get the feeling that it is going to be difficult. I have to start embracing myself and my own self-worth, and stop letting people who basically mean nothing to me because of how dishonourably they've behaved affect me, because it's not worth it. Sometimes it can be a very difficult process, literally, because you feel that you've put your heart and soul into things and people are just stealing or trying to ruin it for you. And it's jealousy. I know, I've had talks with people this week and they're like, it's just jealousy, try to not engage with it. And I've found a couple of coping mechanisms basically which are going to help me be like, you know what, it's pathetic, shrug it off. But the other side of this week is very much the Kitsune energy saying, you know, it's alright for me to feel and give in to my mischievous side, it's alright to have the fun earthly bit as well as this higher spiritual bit. It's alright to seek those in balance, to have fun, to have play, which many of us, including me, frequently forget that as human beings we need to play, we need to joke, we need to giggle, and we are often so constricted by what society tells us we should be doing in terms of fun, which I've had conversations about this week as well. The whole notion of, you know, you work 9 to 5 and kill yourself in some slave type job, and then your idea of fun is just to go out getting slaughtered on alcohol at the weekend, and that's supposed to be desirable. It has never been something I found desirable. I used to go clubbing and stuff when I was underage and into my later years up until about 23, and by then I'd been doing it since I was 16. It was a little bit more lenient when we were young, and even younger, because we went to the underage stuff as well, like the underage discos and things. And by a certain point it was just seemed pointless to me. I mean, I enjoy dancing and things still, but getting out, getting slaughtered and not remembering any of it, it just seemed so counterproductive to everything. It just seemed soulless to me. I mean, I'm not having a go at anybody who enjoys that sort of thing. It's each their own, but it's never been something that I've really wanted to get engaged with particularly. And I've come to realise that I have to engage my own sense of mischievous behaviour and my own sense of fun and just embrace that side of myself, especially now I have come into the other side of myself. It quite amused me that the Morrigan was a bit huffy. It was only allowed with her express permission, and only after, you know, I reaffirmed that she is my matron, so anything else wasn't going to take away from her at all, and it won't. My relationship with her is as strong as ever, and if you go have a look at the full wand, you can still see that the tip here, it shone through this week. And I think it was literally this I wanted to create for the fox totem side of myself, so I had to create something just as goddamn beautiful for the Morrigan, and I think that's how that came about this week. Balance had to be there. The balance was there for the runes, the balance was there for the creations, and the balance has to be there within me. And that is my journey for this week with this rune. Many blessings.